Welcome back to Energy Atlas, the podcast where we explore smarter ways to power the world. I'm your host, Rasul. Today, we will look at how Iceland built one of the cleanest energy systems in the world and why geography alone does not fully explain that outcome. Iceland is often presented as a renewable energy success story. Nearly all of its electricity and heating come from clean sources, but this was not an automatic result of natural resources alone. To understand how Iceland achieved it, we need to look at the interaction between geology, technology, and long-term policy choices. The country sits directly on the mid-Atlantic ridge, where the Eurasian and North American tectonic plates are slowly moving apart. This geological setting creates unusually high geothermal activity close to the surface. As Leons explains, the earth crust in Iceland is thinner than average, which allows heat from deep underground to be accessed more easily than in most regions of the world. What does this mean in practice? It means that Iceland has a constant, locally available source of heat that does not rely on imported fuels and does not fluctuate with weather or season. Unlike fossil fuels, geothermal energy is continuously replenished by geological processes. This geological advantage sets the conditions. Geothermal energy in Iceland is used primarily through direct heat, not just electricity generation. Instead of burning fuel to produce heat, Iceland distributes hot water directly from geothermal fields to homes and cities through district heating systems. Martorella and Vargas describe how insulated pipe networks deliver geothermal heat for space heating, hot water, and public infrastructure. Today, more than 90% of Icelandic households are heated this way. So what does that change? Direct heat use avoids conversion losses that occur when fuel is turned into electricity and then back into heat. This significantly lowers overall energy demand, and it also explains why geothermal energy accounts for a large share of Iceland's primary energy use, even though it produces less electricity than hydropower. While geothermal energy dominates heating, electricity generation in Iceland relies mainly on hydropower. The country's climate and terrain are particularly well suited to this. Large glaciers, frequent precipitation, and steep elevation gradients create powerful river systems. Meltwater from glaciers feeds rivers that drive turbines in large-scale hydroelectric plants. Hydropower supplies most of Iceland's electricity, with geothermal power covering most of the remainder. According to the National Energy Authority of Iceland, together, these sources account for virtually all electricity generation in the country. The consequence is a power system with extremely low carbon intensity, even by renewable standards. Geology explains opportunity. Policy explains outcomes. In the early 20th century, Iceland depended heavily on imported coal and oil. These imports were expensive and vulnerable to disruption, creating strong incentives to develop domestic energy sources. Rather than relying on private, fragmented development, Iceland chose public ownership and coordinated planning. Johnson and Rastrick show how gradual expansion of district heating networks allowed geothermal energy to scale while building public trust. Infrastructure was introduced incrementally, adapted to local conditions, and embedded into everyday use. And what does this achieve? It reduces resistance to new infrastructure and aligns energy systems with social acceptance. Renewable energy has become part of normal life rather than an abstract policy goal. Iceland is not standing still. One of the most ambitious initiatives is the Iceland Deep Drilling Project, which aims to access supercritical geothermal fluids at extreme temperatures near magma intrusions. These fluids contain far more energy than conventional geothermal reservoirs. If successfully harnessed, they could dramatically increase electricity output per well. Iceland is often held up as a clean energy model, but its experience is not easily transferable. Few countries combine shallow geothermal resources, abundant hydropower, a small population, and strong institutional coordination. And this matters. Iceland's case showed that clean energy systems emerge when natural conditions align with long-term planning, public investment, and institutional stability. It does not offer a universal blueprint, but it does highlight the importance of tailoring energy policy to geographic and social realities. So here is the takeaway. Iceland's experience shows that clean energy systems emerge when geography, technology, and policy are in the same direction. Natural advantages matter, but they only become transformative when supported by consistent planning and institutional commitment. Thanks for tuning into Energy Atlas. Until next time, remember, successful energy transitions are not copied, they are built around local realities.